I was born in Oxford, North Carolina. My father was a tobacco buyer for Export Leaf Tobacco Company. When I was almost 6, we moved to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. He was transferred. I went to 4 grammar schools in my first year of school, so I could handle anything. Went to Davison College and graduated in '51. Interesting story how I got into Davison. Mother took me down to Davison to see the school, and the president, that was John Cunningham, who had been our preacher at the Presbyterian Church in Winston, and showed us all around very nice. And he said, "Man, Lou," he said, "I tell you the truth," said, "Cecil will be wasting your money and our time for him to come down here." I said, "Why? Why?" "Because he's making C's and will not be able to handle the curriculum." And, "Oh, John, he can do anything he wants to, I guarantee." "All right, Mad Lou, if he makes straight A's his senior year in high school, I'll get him in." So Mother took me home and hired Miss Halterwanger, who was wife of the principal of Haynes High School, right across the street from Reynolds. Every day at 3:10, I was in her breakfast room. I didn't move or do anything until I knew everything upside down, backwards, and sideways. And 6 weeks in the school, they called me down to the principal's office. And all the teachers were there, and Pop Joner, the principal, was there. And I said, "What's going on?" They said, "We know you're cheating. We can't catch you." I said, "What are you talking about?" They said, "There's no way you can be where you came from." And I said, "Well, why don't y'all just ask me some questions?" Which they did. And they said, what's happened to you?" I said, "Miss Halterwanger's happened to me." So I made straight A's my senior year in high school and got in Davison, where I was a second lieutenant in ROTC, and went from there, from Fort Benning, Georgia, to Fort Riley, Kansas, to Korea, and spent a pretty bad year in Korea. After the war was over, we came back, and I went to work for Security Life and Trust Company, selling life insurance, my first job, and I did real well. I sold $1 million for the first year and ran out of friends and had to go get a real job. Went to work for Wachovia Bank. And I became real close friends with Carl McCraw Jr., whose daddy was chairman of First Union. And he said, "Cecil, I don't like Wachovia people in my house. Say, you're gonna go hang around here, you're going to work for me." And I said, "Well, that sounds good, Mr. McCraw." He said, "We just bought a bank up in Virginia, and I'll pin you up there and make you a real banker." And I said, "Well, it sounds good." He said, "The one thing, you got to do something for 6 months, because we don't hire each other's personnel." And so I moved to Myrtle Beach. I was married to Scott's mother, Kay Plyler, who father owned the Gate-Off and Gift Co. And he had an old press camera that they had in the military, and showed me how to use it. And I liked to sell, so I went out and told me how to make postcards. And I made more money in 3 months than I was going to make at the bank all year. So I went back and asked Mr. McCraw, I told I'll honor a person, I'd like to go in business for myself. And he said, "Doing what?" And I said, "Making postcards." He about fell out of his chair laughing. "Tell me what you're talking about." And he said, "Well, if you got a chance to do that, go do it. And if it doesn't work out, come back. I'll always give you a job." So that was good. We worked about 3 months out of the year. It was June till the middle of August, and then a little bit of business in the fall, and that was it. But postcards was a great deal. You'd sell them, so they'd buy 3,000 or 6,000, and then they'd call back next year and reorder them, and you wouldn't have to do anything but just send the order in. It built up kind of like an insurance. You buy insurance from somebody, they don't ever have to sell it to you again. They just send you a bill every year, and it pyramids. So, but postcards are one of the finest advertising vehicles in the world, because you give it to your customers, they put a stamp on it and mail it to a market you don't know. It's a hidden market, and it's still a great vehicle even today. If you can get people to do that, that's a silent market. We got in the printing business, trying to protect myself from everybody but advertising people, printing people were coming down here. So we opened a printing business. And we had a mailing company. And to my knowledge, Annette was running all those. I don't know how she ever kept up with what she was doing. When I first moved here in 1959, Buster Bryan, who built the Caravel Hotel up on a dirt road up north. Miss Abika saw me down the post office and she called me and says, "Cecil, has Buster lost his mind?" I said, "Well, what's wrong, Miss Abika? He's building that motel up there on that dirt road. Who's going up there?" And but anyway, Buster was a visionary, and he started, he and Jim Hackler, the partners in it, and they started a group called Golf Hotel to promote golf. And their advertising was, "Come to Myrtle Beach, play the great new golf courses, Robbers Roost and Possum Trot." Herb Forster didn't like that because they were members of the Dunes Club. And so he got me to get a group together and get another group called Golf Holiday. Some of were in both of them, and I was handling the advertising for both groups. And Buster called me and said, "Cecil, you're gonna have to make your mind up. You're gonna have to go with Golf Hotel or Golf Holiday. You can't do both of them." He was kind of like a father figure to me. But after that, he passed. Hackler kind of led a group where the Golf Hotel and Golf Holiday merged and become Myrtle Beach Golf Holiday. We grew from that meager beginning of Golf Holiday had 10 hotels and 10 golf courses, or 11, because they put the Dunes Club in there. And we grew every year. Golf changed the market. I mean, there wasn't nothing here but the beach. And so golf gave it, and when we started promoting golf, we thought we'd do maybe a little bit of March, April, and May, and September and October. Nobody's gonna come down here in the wintertime and play golf. We never thought people would play in 50-degree weather. They played up north all the time. So golf changed it to year-round too, from everything else.
Everything I learned about marketing, I learned really from Cecil Brandon. He had a great vision. He loved this community, and he was well-liked, well thought of. I've never been embarrassed to say I work for the Brandon Agency or for Cecil Brandon. You can always say that and know that that's a good thing.
As we grew, the beach grew. I tried to get Scott to go to work for me, and he didn't. When he got out of school, and he wanted to do his own thing. So that's when he went to law school and became a lawyer. And we went out one night to eat at Rossi's, and we were coming out. He said, "Daddy, I'm ready to go to work for you." I said, "What you gonna do?" He said, "I'll sweep floors, whatever I need to do."
Scott was a wonderful young man. He was very talented, but that's part of his makeup, that he wouldn't come in and say, "I'm in charge." He was willing, and he also realized that he did not really know the business. So to play like you know the business is not where he was.
That was a dramatic change when he came in, and he had to work through everybody earning their respect, because that was new to him too. And he's taken the company to a long height that I could never take it. Biggest fault was, I was afraid I was gonna hire somebody smarter than I was and take my business away from it, which is the dumbest thing you could possibly do. You wanna find somebody a lot smarter than you are so you can learn from them. I've been lucky to have people come to be associated with us that are so good and so kind. It was fun to go to work. Really was. It's fun, and it should always be fun to go to work.
So one of the things that I've always respected about my dad is he always has been a visionary. You know, he saw Myrtle Beach the way it is today back in the 60s. He always thought it would be one of America's most visited, vacation destinations. Another thing that I've always admired about my dad is he's always coming up with ideas, good or bad. he comes up with a lot of ideas, and a lot of them have been very disruptive to the industries that he's brought the ideas to, and really helped his clients grow their business. I mean, the golf package was really his idea, to sell hotels and golf tee times together in one transaction so that somebody could just make one phone call. That was before the internet. He was the first person I know of to teach hotels how to do guest history marketing. So back in the 60s, when somebody would check into a hotel, he would have the hotel clerk basically write down the information of the guest on a 4x6 note card, and then that became the guest history database for that hotel. And when they did mailings, he would use those note cards to do the mailings from. So he was a real innovator. He was very thoughtful in what he did and generated some great results for his clients. I think we've carried on that tradition. We've really come up with some incredible business building ideas for our clients. One in particular was for Southern Tide. They were new to the apparel business. People didn't really know what to think about the Happy Fish logo, as Barry likes to call it. And we were trying to break into a very tough channel, which was fine men's independent retailers. And at the time, the independent retailers were being really challenged by direct-to-consumer sales. So Ralph Lauren and all the big brands were moving more towards selling direct-to-consumer. And we had the idea to develop a system whereby when a consumer purchased any type of apparel from Southern Tide directly within a certain mile radius of our retailers, we would give them a kickback or a store credit essentially against their next order for every one of those direct-to-consumer sales. They love that. So not only were we able to develop the idea, but we were also able to write the technology that allowed us to execute that. So that allowed Southern Tide to grow from 0 to about $25 million in revenue in 4.5 years, and ultimately, of course, they sold it for $48 million. So that was a really game-changing idea for Southern Tide. I think that becoming certified brand strategists is a game changer for our agency. So many agencies are out there claiming that they know how to do brand strategy, that they're brand strategy specialists. Well, we'll be the only agency in South Carolina to be certified as brand strategists. And I think the key to it is helping our clients align their brand strategy with their business objectives. Because today, so many businesses are competing in this very competitive market space, not only for customers' attention or consumers' attention, but also for their wallets. And I think it's those companies that do a great job aligning their brand with their business objectives. Those are the ones that are the most successful. And I think that's an opportunity for us to bring something to the table that a lot of our competitors can't. So we're looking forward to the opportunity to be able to market ourselves as certified brand strategists. And I always felt like we were more than just an ad agency to our clients. And today I think that's very true about us. We're a lot more than that. We're ideators, we're technologists, analysts, researchers, digital marketers. I really believe we're digital to our core, but yet we're still very focused on how we pull everything together for the benefit of our clients, so much more than what an ordinary agency would do or be, to the point that we're also entrepreneurial in the way we approach our clients. For some, we're taking equity in lieu of pay for hope of a bigger payday in the future. And we're also, partners with a lot of our clients. I think a lot of our clients see us as integral parts of their business. And, you know, we treat them that way and they treat us that way. And I think that leads to, you know, longer term relationships. And if you really look at how long our clients last, I think it's way outside of the norm within this industry. So yeah, I think we're not an ad agency. I think we're a lot more to our clients, and I want to keep it that way.
I think Cecil started a path, and Scott was on that path, but Scott turned that path into a superhighway.
What Brandon Advertising is a conglomerate of a lot of great people that gave a lot of time and work together and made it happen.
So there is one thing in that video that my dad recorded that's total bullshit. And that's the fact that I asked him to come work here. Well, that's not true. He asked me. So he's got that mixed up. Everything else in that video is right. So you can tell him that for me.